everyone, I am here today with another reading wrap up for you, and so this is the next 5 books out of the books that I have read so far this year. We are going to start off with Gem and the Holograms, Volume 3, Dark Gem, and I got this book from the publisher by NetGalley in return for an honest review, and I gave it 4 stars. And I didn't enjoy this one as much as the first volume. I haven't read the second volume, although I did sort of read around about it so that I could fill in the plot holes for myself, but I wasn't feeling this one quite so much. I enjoyed the artwork. I thought the artwork was stunning and it was definitely one of the bonus points for me, but the plot didn't grip me quite as well, and I just didn't feel overly invested in the characters this time around. I will still be continuing on with the series though. The second book I want to talk to you about is The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton, and I listened to the audiobook of this, and wow, was this a long audiobook. If I remember rightly, it was around 30 hours, possibly a little bit more. So it took me quite some time to get through this because it is not the easiest of novels to take in, and to say I struggled with it would be an understatement. I did give this book 3 stars overall because I could definitely see the potential in it. I think it was a great book, but it wasn't the right time for me. It's a historical fiction. I absolutely adore historical fictions. And it's set in 1866 in New Zealand for the gold rush. And I don't know, I really didn't feel intelligent enough to actually be able to understand all of this book. I should have loved it. It's a mystery, it's a historical fiction. They're 2 of my favourite things. To be mixed up together in a book should have been a winning combination for me, but I just struggled, in all honesty. The first however many pages, for ages of pages, the chapters are incredibly long. But then as you get through the book, the chapters get shorter and shorter and shorter. And so I really struggled to get into the book in the beginning because it would just be this massive, massive, massive long narrative that I'd be listening to. And I just didn't have the attention span for it, as sad as that sounds. I really want to reread this again one day, and as a physical copy rather than the audiobook. But I'm going to leave it quite a few years because I feel like I just wasn't ready for this book. And so the next book I want to talk about was a reread for me, and that was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. And who doesn't love this book? This is just such a nice, cosy read. It really took me back to my childhood. It really took me back to how much I used to adore chocolate and wish that something like this would happen in real life. It's quite incredible actually, because obviously I've watched various different film versions of this, but I haven't read it for quite some years. And I was surprised at how I'd forgotten some of the more sort of detailed aspects of the book. And so this was actually a really fun reread for me, and a really intriguing reread for me. And even though I'm an adult, I still loved it as much as when I was a child, and I gave it 5 stars. Next we have another 5-star read, and this is by one of my favourite authors of all time, and that is The Undomesticated Goddess by Sophie Kinsella. I've read a lot of Sophie Kinsella's standalone novels. I've read most of the Shopaholic series, but for some reason I'd never picked this one up despite the fact that I've owned it for probably close to 10 years. But this did everything I wanted and expected of it. I needed, because I've been quite a slumpy reader this year, I needed something that I knew would entertain me but would fly by, but that wasn't just like a kind of cheap thin read. So like, this is a standard novel sort of length. And I really, 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 really loved this. And this is about a young woman named Samantha who is a sort of hotshot lawyer. She spends all her time thinking about work. She's very work-driven. She doesn't do any housework. She's got a cleaner who she sometimes even forgets to pay. She doesn't cook. And things go a bit wrong at work, and so she just has a sort of almost breakdown, gets on a train and ends up in the middle of nowhere, and before she knows it, she has accepted a job as someone's housekeeper. And obviously, she is not set up for that at all, and this was such a funny read. It was a roller coaster of emotions. I cannot praise this, and indeed most of Sophie Kinsella's work highly enough. I highly recommend you check this out. And the final book I want to talk about this week is Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. And this was actually a birthday gift for me from Aoife over at Fred Weasley Died Laughing. I will link her channel down below if you want to check it out. And I'd been saving it until this sort of time of year to read it, and it was well worth the save. I really enjoyed it. I think one of the things that people praise most about this book, and indeed that was no exception for me either, was just the incredible artwork. Let me find something that's not too spoilery, but at the same time demonstrates. So it's just an absolutely beautiful book. It smells delicious as well. You know, when you can just smell a glossy book, it's just, I mean, just look at it. It's just fantastic. And this is basically 5 short stories in graphic novel form, and I enjoyed all of them. I liked some more than others, but in any collection it's rare that you're going to enjoy all of them to the max. But I thought that this was a great overall, great for October and November sort of reading, and I highly recommend you pick this one up as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more bookish videos, other book reviews and other content from me. If you've read any of these books and want to discuss them down below, or if you've read anything recently that you really want to recommend, then drop me a comment down below as well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!